What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of the Amazon original Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. This film, of course, is directed by Stefano Sollima. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, as well as commenting below on any videos you watch, including this one. So Without Remorse is a story of a character named John Kelly, who of course is played by Michael B. Jordan. He's an individual that is basically a CIA merc. He's an operative. He goes into hot zones, takes down the bad guy without anybody knowing about it. So he's like, a undercover agent in a lot of aspects. Well, during a mission, which includes the character Jamie Bell, who is his operative manager, he starts to question things. He starts to question like the ideas and policies about what's going on in this mission, which leads into them coming back to America and some of his people that he was under op with being killed, as well as him being targeted, in which his wife is killed. So he goes on, in essence, a revenge quest to take down the people who were responsible. We end up meeting a character played by Pearce, who's a senator or secretary or whatever. We also meet a character who's played by Jodie Turner-Smith, who ends up becoming like a second, in command in a lot of aspects and so on and so forth. And it's basically the John Kelly character, or as he's known in the books as John Clark, basically going on a rogue mission to find out what exactly happened, why his wife was killed, and how he has to take down the people responsible, which in these Tom Clancy books always leads to some kind of conspiracy. It is what it is. It's Tom Clancy. So John Clark himself is a character that is in the Tom Clancy universe, is considered probably one of the most important characters he's ever created, one of the most well-known characters he's ever created, and he's been mostly known and delegated to the Jack Ryan universe. Jack Ryan is considered Tom Clancy's like most important character he's ever created in any book he's ever written, and he's an individual similar to like this movie. He's willing to do what it takes to bring down the bad guys, to figure out the conspiracy, and he's complete opposite of Jack Ryan himself, who's more on the level. Now I haven't seen the Jack Ryan that John Krasinski's in, but I hear is he's a little more rough and tumble and stuff like that. But in essence, this character John Clark, which is what John Kelly eventually becomes, is a character that is sometimes not on the level. He's willing to go as far as he can. And this book that this movie is based off, I read a little bit into the Wikipedia pages of it. It doesn't follow the book all that much outside of his wife being murdered and him going on a revenge aspect and stuff like that. So like a lot of Tom Clancy's books, like The Sum of All Fears and some of the other books that have been turned into movies, they're not exactly sticking to the book, page by page by page. They're going off and doing their own thing, which I'm fine with. It allows this character of John Clark to become something kind of unique and different. You bring in Michael B. Jordan, and it's a movie that I was really fascinated by because Stefano Sollima also directed that Sicario: Day of the Dead, which was a fine movie. It doesn't live up to the Denis Villeneuve original movie, but it has its moments with Josh Brolin and of course Benicio del Toro. So when they released the first trailer for this, I was interested. I was excited for it because I like Michael B. Jordan. I like the aspect of conspiracy theories and action espionage. Some of the things about Tom Clancy that I really enjoy are stuff like that with like Patriot Games and Hunt for Red October, stuff that deals with the military and how crazy it can be and the espionage nature of it. And then on top of that, Tom Clancy, even though he's been dead for quite a while, his name is synonymous with a lot of properties, whether it be video games, books, movies, so on and so forth. So you got to be at least a little bit anticipated for this type of movie. And like I said, it has a pretty decent pedigree of cast in it. So with that said, for my review, this movie has what I consider an identity problem. It's a movie that has a lot of potential, a lot of interesting characters, a lot of interesting ideas being presented, but underneath the surface of that situation, there's not much there to talk about because you have a screenwriter in Tyler Sheridan who's very well known as a very interesting screenwriter himself, done a lot of cool stuff like Hell or High Water, but it just feels like that they decided they were not going to go with the actual book source material from what I read. They were going to do their own thing. They were going to present this new character, or at least new in essence, the film world. But they don't present anything with substance. There's no meat on the bone. It feels like we go from set piece to set piece to set piece. And it feels like it happens so quickly, happens so unjustly deserved, that it doesn't feel like when it gets to the end, when the typical you've seen it there, it's been done before type ending, it doesn't feel anything is deserved at all. It feels like they kind of thrust this character that Michael B. Jordan is playing into a world where he's just angry and upset over his wife dying, which is, understandable. But then you take a character like that and you just kind of throw him into this very bland, very banal world that has very stereotyped characters that aren't very interesting to watch. I think Guy Pearce is like the worst in this movie, and I love Guy Pearce, but his character is very much a stereotype. The Jamie Bell character is very much a stereotype. The Jodie Turner-Smith is very much a stereotype, and even Michael B. Jordan's character is very much a stereotype. And that is a problem, because if you want to make this a series, you got to at least have some potential in the beginning. And yeah, there is some interesting ideas being presented, but when you look at it from a surface level, it's fine. But when you go to the deepness of the series, it really feels like there's something missing. For instance, there's a set piece in this movie that involves gunplay and action, but the stuff leading up to it, the kind of revelations that happen, the ideas and motivations are just so poorly executed that you just see it coming from a mile away. And when the characters do what they do, you're just like, at this point, I just don't care anymore, because I'm just like, if you're just going to present me with a world that I've seen a billion times in other movies that are done much better, given a lot more meat on the bone, then to me personally, it's just not something I want to recommend to people, because it's just going to make you waste your time when watching this movie. But that's the problem with this movie, is people are excited for it like I was, so you're going to see it no matter what I say or what I think about it. But overall, like I said, the movie's not great. It has its moments with, like, especially the stuff you've seen in the trailer, but just go in knowing that it's a movie that is not going to have a lot of value, it's not going to have a lot of substance, and it's a movie that you might actually get bored with like I did. So overall, I just didn't care for the movie very much, which you might end up enjoying. So but with that said, that's my take on this movie, Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the movie when you eventually see it. Was there any parts that you really enjoyed? Is there stuff that you're looking forward to in like later movies and so on and so forth? But overall, let me know in the comments. But if you like what you see in this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find out what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, and as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.